Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're hearing me loud and clear. I can see that some have already tuned in to listen to me. Good afternoon. Hi. Let me bring this thing closer so you can see me. Hi. Good afternoon. I hope everybody is doing okay. I just turned up my phone and I heard the sad news at my alma mater, which is for Penning Secondary School, and it's really sad that first of all my sincere condolences to the bereaved family. Is a very sad day at Penning Secondary School for us to lose another person, another student, another child at this age. And so if the matter someone can pass my my sincere condolences to the mother, the parents of this student that was struck down yesterday by lightning. The reason why I'm here today again is to shed some light on these incidents that happen in Ghana and the inadequate preparations that we've done towards to address some of these issues. Eastern region and most part of the country are prone to such natural disasters. I heard that in the Eastern region, I think is one of the most prone areas in the country where the likelihood of being struck down by lightning is very, very high. But since I went to school at Penning Secondary School, I never heard that we even have any measures to address this situation in case it should happen. And I know that this is not isolated to Penning Secondary School. So I'm thinking that most of the schools in that area don't even have a lightning catcher, you know. So if something like this happens, then there is no way we can prevent it from happening, because the school do not even have any such thing in place to address the situation. So what are we going to do as a country? And my appeal is to the president that the free SHS is bringing a lot of students to various schools. But the issue of boarding is very, very important and has not been addressed. We cannot have a bedroom or a dorm that is meant for 10 or 12 people, housing 30 or 30 students. And in my opinion, if this is going to be, of course, it is the case, then I think that the government should really look into privatizing boarding. That it's okay. We understand that tuition should be free, but we cannot give boarding away for free simply because the government is not in the position to foot all that bill. The government cannot give us free education and then also give us free and then also you can't turn your phone. Okay, whatever. Technology. Okay. The government cannot give us free education and then give us free boarding and give us free. So in order to alleviate the problem of this situation, for the government to be in a position of actually addressing this issue, I think that the best thing is for the government to just privatize boarding. This way you have private investors coming in, and they can help this situation, because this is not good. This is really bad. This is not good for anybody, to be in such an environment. So that is one of the problems why something like this can happen at the Foripeni Secondary School, because I don't think, when I was in school, I didn't even know that we had problems with lightning or natural disasters this way. So if it's not coming into the forefront, into the limelight, then I think that the government should really take steps to address it. The school administration should be in the position right now to be addressing the situation, instead of us playing politics and debating, as to what to do. I don't know how the headmaster can lobby the authorities to address such situation, but I think this is a matter of urgency that needs to be addressed right this minute. That we cannot have our kids going to school and be wondering about their safety, and be a parent. Your child is in school and you're wondering, oh my God, is my child going to be safe in the school? The good thing is we don't have guns coming to our schools to kill our kids, but we have all these issues, and I think the issue of accommodation in the school should be privatized, and that the headmasters should be held accountable for the maintenance of the school. The headmasters administration should be held accountable, because most of the schools are in very, very deplorable state. So please, if anybody is hearing my voice, if it's possible for you to forward my video to the president, we need these issues addressed ASAP. We cannot have our children going to school and then we are afraid or wondering what is happening to them. Are they safe? What is going to happen, please? So, again, number one, the boarding has to be privatized. There is no way the government of Ghana can sustain this free education and free accommodation and free feeding. There is no way. I mean, it is not possible. There is no way. So boarding house should be privatized. And then number two, what do you call it? You should go to school in your zone. So let's say if you come from Accra, you shouldn't go to school in Kumasi, especially high school or secondary school. You shouldn't be going to school in Kumasi. You should go to school in Accra, so you don't have to be a boarding student. You see what I'm saying? If you go to school in Kukrentimi, like my secondary school, you don't have to be a student coming from Accra. Most of the students should be in that area. You should be coming from Kufuria or Tafu or Kukrentimi, so that you would be a day student, so that the burden on the boarding facilities would not be as much, because there is no way we can sustain this. The government cannot sustain it. Either that, or the government should privatize boarding accommodation. It should be privatized, so that the private people can come in and build modern and efficient facilities for these students. Because when I went to visit my school about 3 weeks ago, it was pitiful. I mean, it was pitiful. I wouldn't even want my pig to be in that school. It was pitiful. You have a room that was meant for 10 people, housing 40 people. You have only one KVIP with a six-seater toilet facility catering towards 2,000 students. I mean, how is that possible? So it means that in the middle of the night, better pray, or early in the morning, you better be the first getting up to use the bathroom. This is a health hazard. This is a disaster about to happen. And it's not just an isolated incident in my school. It's in almost all the schools in Ghana. So in this way, like I said, the president or the government is not in the position to take care of all these problems. So the best and the wisest thing to do in the short term and in the long term is to make boarding facility they should privatize boarding facilities, so people can come in and build modern and efficient dorms to house these students. As a parent, I would rather have pay, let's say 300 Ghana, and know that my child is in a better and healthy environment than to have them all cramped up in these dormitories. The health issues in here, all kinds of foolishness go on when you have people cramped together. There are bed bugs everywhere in the school. The bathhouse, they have taken the roof off because they had worm infestation. And I know it's a matter of maintenance and sanitation, but how is that going to be possible if you have all these students cramped together? And like I said, the situation is not only isolated to Foripenin Secondary School. The situation is in almost all the schools in the country. So in most cases, it's the old students that are really funding and maintaining the schools. That should not be the problem of an old student. That should not be the problem or the duty of an old student to come in and make sure that the school is run correctly. This is in the hands of the government and the school administration. And to the government, I am saying that the best and efficient and long-term, short-term solution to this problem is to privatize boarding. If you want to go to the boarding house, then you're going to pay for accommodation. That's what I meant. I didn't mean that school, paying tuition is free, which is good, pay so that everybody can go to school, because the deficit on illiteracy in our country is huge. And so we need everybody to go to school, fine. But again, you can't just go to school and be sleeping in a very unhealthy environment, or be crammed in a room where you can't even breathe. You have bed bugs everywhere. This is unacceptable. And so I'm appealing to the authorities, if somebody is hearing my voice, that this should not be a problem, or this should not overwhelm the government. Please privatize boarding, accommodation, housing. Please privatize it. And then the rest could be free. It could be free education. That's good, because we need that in the country. Yes, we do need that. God knows we need that. But we cannot sustain that with free accommodation, because this case, I'm told that come next year, the population that were accepted this year is going to double. Now, if that is going to double, the population is already quadruple. So if it's going to be double, then how are we going to how are we going to ensure that our kids are healthy? Because it's not just the book that you're reading. In Ghana, everything is chew, pass, and pour, or whatever, chew, pour, and pass, or whatever the term is. We are not really addressing education the way it should be addressed. And I think we are rushing a little bit. What we need to do, Mr. President, is to please privatize accommodation. This, I'm sure that if this is done, we're going to get a lot of people coming in to help, so that our schools can run efficiently and be in the 21st century. Because at my school, for Foripenin Secondary School, we don't even have toilet facility. I mean, how is that possible? So we are just lucky that there hasn't been any outbreak of meningitis or all these sicknesses that are, or Ebola, or and it's all because of unhygienic conditions that bring about all these illnesses. So please, Mr. President, if you're hearing my voice, I'm appealing to you. We have to privatize the boarding housing. Housing in all the schools should be privatized, or you go to school in your zone. So if you live around that area, that is where you go to school. You can come from another state or another from Accra to come to school in Kukrentimi, whereas there are schools in Accra. So that this way, the boarding houses is not jammed, and so the kids can have a little bit of what's the word? A little bit of I can't get the word, so they can go to school in a healthy environment. We don't have science labs. We don't have science laboratories. We don't have those. We don't have so many things. We don't have sports facilities in the school. The government cannot sustain this. there is no way that the government can sustain this. So I think it's about time that the government would think about, really, really think, and not try to score a political point, but really, really address these issues and prepare our children for the future. Please, we cannot do this as a country and think that we're going to get anywhere. And like I said, in Eastern region, Eastern region is prone to natural disasters. Okay, prone to rain, storm, blah, blah, blah. But none of the schools have lightning catchers. So how can we even be in the 21st century and not have all these things? A student died yesterday because of lightning. He was struck down by lightning. But the schools don't even have it. So please, all these needs to be addressed. We cannot just live our lives like this in Ghana. It is a scary country. And it's about time we took serious and long-term measures to address some of these issues. And I think most of it can be addressed if we privatize boarding. When I say boarding, I mean the housing. The housing facilities should be privatized. The housing facilities should be privatized so that when you're coming to school, of course, you're going to have free education, free tuition. But if you come into school, then you need a place to sleep. Nobody does that. Not even in the U.S. They don't have free boarding housing facility that you just go to the school. You just go in and out. No, you pay for accommodation. So if the government does this, then the school is going to have money, to build sports facilities and all the things that is needed to have a sound mind going to school. So please, Mr. President, I hope somebody can forward my little video to him, to his office, please, if you can. That this should be done. We cannot sustain. This is bad. This is human abuse. If the kids are being crammed in the dormitories like this, you cannot have a room that is meant for 10 people housing 30 people. That is unacceptable. That is cruelty. That is unacceptable. How do you expect the kids to learn? They cannot learn. The place is jam-packed. They are sweating. They are being chewed at night by bed bugs. They don't have toilet facilities. You have to actually walk from the dormitory to go behind the school to use the bathroom. It makes no sense to me. Like, seriously, this has to stop. And so please, if you are, all those that are watching me right now, if you have any means of forwarding my video to the president, please do so, because we need to tackle our problems more efficiently and boldly and not be using interim. That's the term in Ghana. Everything is interim. The interim measure. We don't need interim measures. We need long-term measures, because people are having kids every single day. We are bringing forth, our population had quadrupled, even as a nation. So we have to look for long-term measures. We have to build our schools with materials that are strong enough to take us for centuries and centuries, like brick. If you using bricks, in the long term, is more profitable than using cement, because you don't even have to paint the building again. If the building gets dirty and you want to paint, all you have to do is hose it down, and then the building looks new. We need to do all these things, Ghana. And I'm appealing to our leaders who are chopping our money. It is enough already. You have chopped enough of our money already. Please, we're begging you. A year is enough. Because you know what? You keep chopping and chopping, but the funny thing is you still live in Ghana. And if there's an outbreak of, let's say, Ebola, don't you think it would affect you? Or because you think you live in a mansion and you have the fancy car, it's not going to affect you? It would affect you, okay? If your child goes to school in Harvard here, and then the rest of the country, the rest of the country is not educated, it affects you also, because you are still in Ghana. You are using the services of the people in Ghana. You see them every day. You see how cramped, how dirty our country is. You cannot tell me that you don't care, because it affects you one way or the other. You can live unless you live on the ocean, and you don't bother yourself with the land, so you live on the ocean, you're not coming down. But if you're coming in town, if you're walking in town in Ghana, you see this. You can't tell me that you don't care. You care because it affects the air that circulates in the country. The one that comes to your house is not different from the one that comes to my house. Okay, the air that blows at East Legon is not different from the air that is blowing at Choco or Nima. We all breathe the same air, people. So I don't understand this thing with our leaders that they think that it's okay to chop our money and chop the money and chop the money. It makes no sense. You are in it. You are in it. Like I said, unless you're living on the ocean, or even the ocean in Ghana is polluted with human waste, raw human waste. Raw human waste. And we eat fish. So see, if you eat fish, you are eating nothing but toilet in Ghana. This is unacceptable. Our leaders need to be more accountable to the citizens of Ghana than what they are doing. Please, it is enough. Why? Mpanimfoɔ yi mo de sika ni bi kakra. Na mo dream sɛ na yɛbɛtumi build our country. Let us think of how best we can build Ghana, because Ghana is a death trap. Ghana is in such a bad, deplorable state. We cannot have our children going to school and not having the best of accommodation. And the government is not in the position to do that. It is a simple solution. Privatize boarding, housing in Ghana. Privatize it. At least, so privatize here, okay? And you can subsidize if you want to. You can subsidize so that the parents are not taking so much money out of their pocket. But I think every parent will know that you cannot take your child to school and expect them to sleep on the streets. They need a place to sleep. So what do? We have to privatize our boarding housing, facilities in Ghana, so maybe private investors can come in and they can help. We cannot, America and all these developed countries, most of the sectors are owned by private people. The government cannot do it. So why is the government trying to do something? You can't do that. You can't do everything. So please, Mr. President, if you're hearing my voice, I just want to say that there was a sad incident in my alma mater this morning, and yesterday, and a student was struck down by lightning. And it's simply because we don't have anything to detect or even catch lightning when it's about to strike. And unfortunately, behind the school, right on the compound on the school, the VRA had encroached on the property. The VRA have their towers right there, everywhere on the school. So I see how that UPAS would be such a very was able to attract such thunderstorm to kill somebody, because of the electric poles all around the school. Come on, this is dangerous. If I was the parent of this child that was struck down, I would sue the school. Why do we have all these electric poles there? You can't do this, and something has to be done, Mr. President. If you're hearing my voice, please. I know you have a good heart. You want every Ghanaian to be educated, and that is what we need, because we have too much illiteracy. But we cannot just put the kids where they are, because if you go to Foripeni Secondary School, which is my school, it is a sad situation. It is scary. Please, this is not sustainable. The school is building a small dormitory to cater to 9. They have 9 rooms. The girls' dormitory alone have about 2,000 students. Okay, and the students are they're being chewed on by bed bugs. This is not sustainable, please. And something has to be done. Okay, something has to be done, please. This is not sustainable. Something has to be done, and fast. And the best solution that you can do is to privatize housing in the schools. Privatize them. You're going to have people that will go in and build modern accommodation for the students to go in. And like I said, every parent would rather have a place where they know that their children, have the best of education, and as well as best of accommodation. Because this is bad. This is bad. All these things needs to be addressed, and then the headmasters of the school need to be held accountable for some of these things. We cannot sustain this way. We don't even have sports facility. How can you go to school and not even have a recreation? Nobody does that. You need to exercise your mind as well. So please, Mr. President, the name of my school is Oforipenin Secondary School. Somebody just died yesterday because of lightning. And it's because we don't have any lightning catchers in the school. And it's because we have too many electric poles in the school. That is why this tragic incident happened. So please address accommodation, okay, and address this. Privatize that. Because you can, as the government, you cannot do that. Nobody does that. Not even the developed countries where they have the structures are in place. They have everything in place. They have enough money, which has not been squandered by their leaders. Of course, some do. I'm not saying that they don't, but at least the things that need to be done is done. Okay, we cannot sustain this. So this is it. I thank you for being with me this afternoon and hearing my voice. I hope that somebody would forward this to the president, and we can have a little piece of comfort while we are here. Thank you very much, and you all have a wonderful day. Bye. And my condolences go to the bereaved family, and it's really very sad. So thank you all for being with me. Bye bye.